Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. This is Sharon Lechter. I'm so excited to be with you again today. And I think it's important to know that this is kind of a melancholy day. I It's amazing what stops you in your track. One of the things we talked about with Angela about the topic for this week was when bad things happen to good people, or when you have something that kind of makes you sad. And lo and behold, this is a tough week for me. For those of you know, Mother's Day is a bittersweet day for me because I love my family, I love my children, but I also think about the son that I lost. And then his birthday is actually this Saturday as well. So it's always kind of a sad week, thinking about my son. And then yesterday morning, we got up and our beloved puppy, who's only 8 years old, he and his brother couldn't walk. And I literally couldn't walk. And we rushed him to the vet and brought him home. And he was just, oh, it was just a horrible day, horrible day. And the vet thought that he had a brain tumor. And it was really so sad. And we, they gave him a shot of prednisone. And prednisone, as you well know, is a really strong steroid, and it didn't seem to take any effect. Literally, I sat with him all night last night, and poor thing, he couldn't stand up, he couldn't move all day long from early yesterday morning, and it was just so sudden because the day before he'd be running across the yard. And a couple of things happened because I realized, the how we need to cherish everything and everyone in our life, because things can change very suddenly. And I also learned that we need to be grateful for what we have. And then I realized my reaction was even bigger, because when you have a loss, it ties into the other losses that you've had. And so sometimes we have to sit back. And I grew up in a household where my father said, tears don't help. He was a military guy. So a lot of years I felt, I would just kind of swallow it in, probably why I got sick a lot. But, it's okay. Sometimes things happen and we have to just allow our body and system to react to it. Last night around 8:30, 8:45, he actually got up and started walking crooked. And this morning was actually walking almost close to normal. But we don't know whether this prednisone shot, because the vet thinks he has a brain tumor, is just giving us a few days with him or a few weeks. But we'll cherish every minute. And so that's my melancholy mood today, is to talk to you about things that stop us in our track. Now, in our private Facebook page, and if you haven't joined that, the Play Big Movement with Sharon Lechter private Facebook page, we had posed a question, and we talked about those setbacks. And I say it's not a failure, it's just a learning opportunity. And we've all had them. The question is, are we going to learn from them? And so it was like, okay, I need to learn from this. And that's, we put nothing else is important, just our time with our beautiful little pup. And through life, I've talked to you about when I met my husband. It was the worst business decision I'd made. But then if I hadn't made that bad business decision, I wouldn't have met Michael. So it's something that, everything, sometimes it takes us a long time to figure out what the positives are. But I wanted to review some of the comments that we've had in the private Facebook page about things that have turned people around. I'm not going to use last names for privacy purposes, but it just means so much to me that you're participating and you're sharing, because that's what this is all about. Playing big together is also being vulnerable together and supporting each other. And just some of these really touch my heart. So Adette from Alberta, my biggest lesson has been that all those bumps in the road serve a purpose. I get choice to dwell on that or put them into practice and use them. Yeah, sometimes, you got to allow yourself to grieve. And at some point, then you have to say, okay, what am I going to learn from it? And certainly, as I've shared with you this last year, I've kind of gotten the touch, I think, from my son from above saying, get over it and get back out there. So sometimes we need to have that little kick to shed the negativity, because when we hide too long, the negativity starts to fester and starts attracting other bad things that happen. Maggie in Colorado shared, I overused debt without really knowing how to use it appropriately. It's caused me to go forward in my business with a huge rock dragging behind me, yeah, and preventing me from taking advantage of real opportunities as they arise. Okay, so that's something that you're admitting it, you're recognizing it, and now you can do something about it. I've talked many times about there's really not work-life balance, but we all have everything in our life, one big life, but we can be out of balance because of debt. It can impact everything about your life. So Maggie, I'm with you, and recognizing it is the first battle. Figure out where you are and start taking small steps to correct it. And I think you'll see confidence come along with that. Tracy wrote, never broadcast your significant or big game changing idea to the public without implementing it yourself first. Even if it's to a lesser degree than the overall big picture, put it on the map yourself first. Well, Tracy, there's probably a bigger story there, but I do agree with you. And certainly when you're looking at from an intellectual property perspective, you want to talk to an attorney and get it protected if something that is truly innovative and game changing. And certainly when you are dealing with a big company and you're a small company, you want to make sure you have those kind of agreements in place. But it's something, don't be fearful of stepping outside your comfort zone and putting a stake in the ground and claiming it, because you have every opportunity to create success. And I hope that your story that's not written here wasn't too painful, and that you've learned that lesson for the future, that you won't let that happen again. Lisa from Phoenix. Sharon, thank you so much for sharing. Hugs and blessings to you and your family on all you've gone through. I do understand being an autopilot, as I've been there the past few years. I said goodbye to both my mom and her husband in 2015 and to my puppy last June. I'm now ready to play big. Yeah, I tell you, Lisa, it's those kind of losses can really stop you in your tracks. I lost my dad, and then I lost my son, then I lost my mom, and certainly the threat of losing our precious bear yesterday, it brought all that back up, way up to the surface. And that's when we know how much we care. And we're still here to love, and there's a lot more for you to do. Okay, Barbara. In the past year, I went from working a job I didn't like. It offered no benefits, and I was constantly under pressure, stressed out, and just getting by, to getting a job at a nice place that paid well, had great benefits, but the people I worked with were negative. Yeah, that's hard. I'm not a negative person. I found it difficult to function. I constantly felt like I was under scrutiny. I only worked because the benefits were so good. I was stressed because I felt I never measured up to their work specifications. I wasn't miserable, but I needed that position. After working there 8 months, they decided it wasn't their fit and let me go. I was devastated, but relieved. I went through grief, but knew deep down inside that if I stayed, I would have become miserable and negative. I have to say, it blew my confidence. I kept praying for God to help me get my confidence back and start over. I reread Sharon's book, Think and Grow Rich for Women, and inspired me to look for a position I wanted. Yay! I found the position also allows me to grow, be promoted, encouraged, and to go further. But deep inside, I still the little voice that questions every decision I'm making. I know this position is for me, but there is still a but. I was feeling that confidence buster within myself and just wasn't sure of my self-worth. Then I watched Sharon's video and I realized that if she can do it, I can do it. Yay, absolutely. I know I can bounce back and I'm ready to play big. Oh, wow, Barbara, that's wonderful. And I'm glad that you found a position that you like more, but that doesn't mean that's the end of the road. Enjoy what you do all the day, but continue thinking about what it is that you want for you, because that's what this is all about. And I'm so thrilled. I'm just delighted that Think and Grow Rich for Women helped you find a pathway. But again, you stepped outside your comfort zone. You stayed in a situation that was bad, and luckily you're not there anymore. So enjoy your newfound position, but don't ever stop looking for opportunities. And now that you don't have that daytime stress, that negativity, then you're going to be more open to the possibilities. And again, go back to my mantra I started my career with, was why not? You know, why not look for those things that can help you truly fulfill what you want in life? Here's Russell from New Zealand. He had a money lesson. My financial blueprint often sabotaged any financial gain. Business lesson. I realized I could use a selling or educating strategy by wrapping it around what I love doing, the gift I have. That's part of that personal success equation, Russell. You know, I tell people I don't really feel like I ever work, because what I do, I love what I do, so it's not work. It's really following a path that I think I was meant to be on. And so I'm delighted to see that in the personal success equation. We talk about combining your passion and your talent, things that you care about, along with things that you've learned, your experience, your education, and then finding those right associations, taking action, but above all, having faith in yourself. And that faith, when things happen to us like this, it does kind of shake our faith in ourselves. And being emotional does not mean you're weak. It took me a long time to think about that. There are still times I question it. Being emotional does not mean you're weak. Being vulnerable does not mean you're weak. It means you're human. And we all have those things, ups and downs. And it's a matter of knowing to surround yourself with people who love you. I mean, my whole team here was in tears yesterday. We all stopped everything to take care of Bear. And it's all about investing in your passion and what you're doing. And when you do, there's emotions that go along with it. See, I'm getting emotional again. Nancy, and she asked me a question. I hope I can do this without crying. I would like very much to hear keys to building personal wealth with a late start at it in life. In many ways, I'm starting to really live now with a new business, and I'm 60. So every move I make to build is critical, and still enjoy where I'm at in my life. Well, you're starting a new business at 60. Well, Colonel Sanders started at 65, and look what he built. So 60 is younger every day, because I'm older than that. So I'm going to tell you, Nancy, 60 is not old. And what happens, I think when we turn 60, there's also a little bit of more freedom for us to do what we want and what we care about, and a little more wisdom, having lived the life we have, and finding the right people to support us and help us along the way. So I want to encourage you every step of the way. And again, I want to repeat that personal success equation, combining your passion with your talent, finding the right associations of people that support you, taking the right action, but above all, having faith in yourself. And as you want to start looking about building your personal wealth through building a business, we do have a course called Essential Components of a Successful Business. And it's on my website. You can find out more about that, or to write me at info@sharonlechter.com. And we'd be happy to share that with you. This is not a commercial message, but it talks about the foundational building of understanding your leadership, your team, your mission. And then within that structure, it's a circle. Those are the ones that keep the circle together: your leadership, your team, your vision, your mission. And then we talk about the corporate foundation, the legal foundation of your company, the agreements that you have, the cash resources, the communications and marketing, business systems, which that's what's going to help you build a successful, sustainable, and scalable business, or having the right business systems. And then, of course, your deliverable. But all in all, that mission, the problem you solve, the need you serve, once you start doing that and you start seeing the feedback, it's going to give you that energy and motivation to keep going, because you're in your flow. You're doing what you were supposed to do. And when you find that, no matter what age you are, when you find that, it clicks right in, and you know it. I thought I was in my flow at Rich Dad, but it was never. I didn't realize until I left that there was still so much more for me to do. And so be open to the possibilities, and really know that every day you have an opportunity to start over. Every day you have an opportunity to say, okay, this is what I've gone through. This is the lesson I'm going to learn. This is a learning opportunity. And what am I going to learn from it to go forward? Sometimes, there's the lesson to be learned from losing a loved one or a loved pet may not be one that you can ever get over the loss, but it can make you start appreciating those things that you still have and that every day we have, and be grateful for the people around you, what you still have, and then also start seeing how you can support others that are going through something similar. Because I posted something on my personal Facebook page, and I was just overwhelmed with the outpouring of love. People that have met Bear, and he just is so cute to see. He and his brother Bodie, they're Australian Shepherds, and they are really, really cute. And they, running alongside each other. Poor Bear was so sad and couldn't get up yesterday, but Bodie was just as sad, and he just stayed right by his side. It was really touching. But again, every one of us, we go through those things, and it stops us. And it's like, okay, allow ourselves to feel that pain and to help others support us. And then take one step at a time to rebuild your ability to go forward. And again, bad things happen to good people. And I don't know why. There's probably a greater power at work. And one day maybe we'll understand it. But each and every one of us has gone through stuff, and we just need to say, okay, here I am. So that happened. What's my next step? Are you going to allow it to keep you back, hold you back? Are you going to allow yourself to feel it completely, mourn, grieve? But don't get angry, don't get mad, because that just hurts you. Learn the lesson, whatever the lesson might be, or mourn the loss, and then really look to the future to say, what can I gain from this? What can I appreciate? And know that there's more in store for you. And whether you're 60 or 70 or 20, 30, what an opportunity to create the life that you want. You've heard me say this before. We are each where we are today because of the choices we made before today. So if you want something different out of life, make different choices. And, that's something that the choices I made last year were very different for me. And as I've continued reaching out and getting more advisors and mentors to help me, I've realized I thought I was pretty vulnerable. I thought, when I'm talking to people, but by just understanding and learning from the experts on how I can open up more, it's been incredible, the response that I've been receiving. And it was news to me. I thought I was always vulnerable and reachable and approachable. And yet I see now that there has been a huge difference in people feeling more secure in coming up to me and talking to me. And so I thank you for that, because that makes me feel better. And I know that I'm touching other people's lives. And so as we continue this program, please share in the Play Big movement and our private Facebook page. We're going to be launching those. I'm doing podcasts right now. We're putting them in the queue, and I'm doing regular podcast interviews. And then I'm doing a private little section that we'll have just in the private Facebook group. And it's about understanding that to play big doesn't mean you're not going to have setbacks. To play big, to be number one in your field, to live your legacy, and to create maximum impact. When you do that, that means you're stepping outside your comfort zone. And when you step outside your comfort zone, sometimes you stub your toe. In fact, it's probably guaranteed. But that doesn't mean to stop. It means to continue finding that path and figuring out what that next opportunity is. Because if you stay inside your comfort zone, you'll never find it. And in fact, it'll pass you right by, because you end up putting blinders on when you stay inside a comfort zone. And I think I've shared this on an earlier Ask Sharon, but I've talked about this thing when we're little kids, we're curious and creative, we play with blocks, build forts, and then we go to school and we learn conformity. We get a career, we get comfortable, and that comfort sometimes can turn into complacency. And that complacency means we hold ourselves back. We stay in our comfort zone. Right? We just, it's like the same old every day. And sometimes it might be a tragedy or something else. Do we have a crisis in our life? And that crisis throws us into chaos. And that chaos, the way we get out of that crisis and chaos is we become creative and curious again. So I ask you, when was the last time you were creative and curious? When was the last time you said, I'm interested in this, I'm going to check this out? When was the last time you said, I want to do something different outside my normal routine? Share it with me. Share it today. I see a lot of you are sharing. Jeff and Ken, Greg, oh my goodness, I'm so happy to see you guys with me. I appreciate it. And I invite you to share the kinds of things that you've done to step outside your comfort zone. It's one of the things that I challenge myself all the time. As much as I have enjoyed my life, and we have our ranch, and I can get into those routines. We all do. We have those routines. But then I trigger myself, and sometimes maybe even some of these things, Ask Sharon and my blogs kick me in the pants to realize I have to walk the talk. So I force myself to step outside my comfort zone and do something different. And I look forward to sharing those things with you each step of the way. But I also want to hear from you, because we're in this together. We're in this one big world. So far, that's all we have. And working together makes it more fun, and bringing people together to support you also makes it more fun. Because as we talk about the Play Big movement, I remind you, it's becoming number one in your field, living your legacy, and creating maximum impact. And every one of you has the opportunity. You're already an expert. Nobody's walked in your shoes. Nobody's had the learning opportunities you've had. But every one of you that shared your thoughts with me this week, I really appreciate it, because this is what we want to do. We want to work together and support each other and to give each other confidence. So I'm thrilled to have this kind of feedback, and I appreciate that. And we want to hear from you. We want you to please reach out to us at info@sharonlechter.com. If you have ideas and suggestions, please share this with your networks and your friends. And also, I know Angela has placed how you can join the Play Big movement on the Facebook page. So please share it with us, join with us, share these Ask Sharon Lives with your networks as well. We're getting more and more views every week, so I really appreciate that. And I'm really pretty excited about what we're building. We're creating a whole new course on playing big. I'm writing a new book, so that's exciting as well. I had a little bit of a stop yesterday with my poor little puppy, so that's why I started, as many of you joined us late, but I'm a little on the melancholy side today, because he's downstairs wrapped in his little towel, big towel. He's a big dog, 80 pounds. We're still hoping that we're going to see more and more of him come back, and we'll have at least a few weeks more to enjoy him. And hopefully he won't be scared anymore. That was so sad to see him so scared yesterday. But it also reminds me, when you're living in your life, you find people that are scared. They're scared. Maybe they're not quite so obvious as he was yesterday. And they're scared because they have closed themselves in. And you can help them open up, a hand up, not a handout. And by investing in other people, you invest in yourself. So please invest with us, be with us, join the Play Big Movement Facebook page if you haven't done that already. And there's no cost to it. We're excited about it. We're excited about the momentum that's being created. We're hearing from people all over the world excited about it. So I'm delighted. And yes, my voice is still shaky a little bit because I'm very emotional today. And that's okay. We all have that right. And so I'm going to bid you farewell and tell you to have a fabulous day and a fabulous week. And reach out and tell somebody you're grateful for them. Bye.